What's going on, people? Joey Talks Boxing here. A video. I want to talk about Gervonta Davis and how people call him a protective fighter and if he is a protective fighter or not. To me, he is a protective fighter. I think that he has been given every single advantage possible since he signed with Mayweather Promotions and PBC. First of all, people say he's a 3-division champion. That's complete nonsense. He's one world title win. That's versus Pedraza at 130. Even when he was at 130, he was not the man at 130. The man at 130 was Lomachenko. Lomachenko held more world titles than him, if I'm not mistaken. Lomachenko was rated higher by the Ring magazine and by every single major credible rankings. And Lomachenko called him out, and they wanted no part of Lomachenko. LRB, Mayweather, and them. Not saying Gervonta personally, just saying them. At 135, he's not the man. And he's never won a world title. The man right now, 135, is Devin Haney. Before Devin Haney was the man, it was George Kambosos. Then before George Kambosos, it was Teofimo Lopez. And then before that, it was Vasily Lomachenko. At 140, he beat Mario Barrios for some title nobody cared about. Everyone knows Josh Taylor's the guy at 140 at that time. He was undisputed. No questions asked. So that's one. First off, he's not a world champion. You want to say you don't care about being a world champion, that's fine, but he's not a world champion. But then we get into the fact that all his fights come with the caveat since the Pedraza fight. And even Pedraza, you could argue, was weight trained, but okay. You fought Gamboa, he shot. You fought Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz started his career at bantamweight. That fight was at lightweight. He just basically turned up to the fight for the money. He was a cash-out fight. And I think somehow it was for the 130 and 135 regular title, complete nonsense. That's cherry pick galore. I'm not giving him massive credit for that. He fought Rolly. Rolly's not even a top 10 lightweight at the time, but he had a big mouth, so people wanted to see the fight, myself included. I went. It was awesome. He fought Hector Garcia. He's a 130-pound champion who was originally at 126 only 2 years ago at 135. He fought Mario Barrios. Guy's having a tough time making 140. He's in the bathtub all day. He's got to make 140. He fights him. It's just they very meticulously are picking the fights and connecting the dots. And then he fights Ryan Garcia, who was supposed to be this big super fight. Garcia was at 140 his previous fight. He obviously has trouble making the weight. So what do? They make him make the weight. They make it 136-pound catch weight with no rehydration, with the rehydration clause. Basically making it in a way where every single advantage is for him. They didn't want to fight Lomachenko. They did not want him to fight Devin Haney yet. They didn't want him to fight Shakur Stevenson yet. When you go to 140, they fight Mario Barrios. They don't fight Josh Taylor or Regis Progress. Yeah, I remember Larry Ellaby was saying that Gervonta Davis could beat Keith Thurman, but then he goes around and fights Rolly Romero and Mario Barrios. So it's just funny, all this stuff. Gervonta Davis is a very good fighter. I can't say he's a great fighter yet because he hasn't proven it yet. He has not beat anybody great yet or dominated enough very good fighters or good fighters yet. He hasn't. I mean, I'm sorry. And Paul Malignaggi said this on his show a few days ago. Luke Campbell is better than every single person Gervonta Davis beat going into the Ryan Garcia fight. I would agree with that. So I don't see this greatness from Gervonta Davis. Now, he has great power. He's got a good counterpunching. He has a great chin. So there are things that are great. But when you are measured as a great fighter, you have to prove it in the ring. And I have not seen that yet. Versus even good opposition. I'm not saying you have to be great opposition. If you look great versus good opposition, I'm down to call you great. Like Triple G. He looked great against good opposition. Someone like... I'll even throw a guy like... Terrence Crawford, he looks great versus good opposition. Gervonta Davis doesn't fight good opposition. I'm sorry. Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz at that weight. Isaac Cruz, who's a fill-in opponent. Rolly Romero, Gamboa. That's not great. That's not great. That's not. Mario Barrios, it's not great. Ryan Garcia at a catch weight train. That's not great. That's not even a good opposition. This fight versus Ryan Garcia is the best win of his career. I think this is a good win. But he still, there's always an element of cherry picking. So I know people are going to say, oh, you're hating on Gervonta Davis. No, I'm just telling the truth. And when you look at it, Devin Haney showed more greatness going into Australia twice and beating George Kambosos, who was the undisputed champion, albeit a limited champion, but still was undisputed. He showed more greatness to me than Gervonta Davis has, because there was no catchweight, there was no gimmicks. He went in there, won the fight, no nonsense. Teofimo Lopez, when he beat Lomachenko, there was no catchweight, there was no nonsense, there was no gimmicks. He went in there, won the fight. He has shown more greatness than Gervonta, Tank Davis. Absolutely. And to me, Shakur Stevenson, same thing. Herring dominated him. Now, I understand Herring's not at the Ryan Garcia level. Then he fought Oscar Valdez, who, honestly, I don't think is that far off from the Ryan Garcia level of a fighter. Dominated him. Fought Kinseo, dominated him. That's greatness. He's dominating his opposition. Just dominated this kid from Japan who was probably ranked in the top 20. And the difference between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis is Shakur's always fighting the best people that are available for him to fight. And Shakur Stevenson doesn't lose rounds. This guy's not going life and death with Pitbull. Maybe life and death is a stretch. He's not in a tough fight with Pitbull. This guy's lost like 8 rounds out of 200. So I'm not seeing the greatness yet from Gervonta Davis. Is Gervonta Davis a protected fighter? Yes. Is Gervonta Davis a protected fighter? You guys let me know. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.